In the early 1900s, Belgian microbiologists thought he might be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat, proverbially. Anyway, he knew that a few years earlier, Adolf von Behring in Germany had taken blood from a diphtheria victim, injected it into a horse, extracted the horse's blood, separated the serum, injected that back into a diphtheria patient, and it was curative. So this, of course, unleashed all kinds of research, including that of the Belgian microbiologist, who then decided to take an extract of the liver of a rabbit, inject it into another animal, extract the serum of that animal, inject it back into the rabbit to see what would happen. Something happened. It destroyed the liver of the original rabbit, and only the liver. But he also noticed that if he injected just a small amount of that serum, it didn't destroy the liver, it actually invigorated the rabbit. That was pretty interesting. Well, he was working with Ilya Mechnikov, the Russian scientist who eventually went on to receive the Nobel Prize. He also believed that Bulgarian peasants lived a long time because they ate yogurt. That's another story for another time. But in any case, Mechnikov followed up on this work, and he injected cells from specific organs of an animal into another animal, re-injected it back into the original, and discovered that the cells, the original cells, were destroyed. This was pretty interesting. And this came to the attention of Alexander Bogomolets, a Russian physician, who eventually ended up writing a book, a classic book on the prolongation of life. Well, he became interested in this technology, and he believed that aging was due to the wearing out of connective tissues in our body. And these connective tissues have immune cells embedded in them. So he found that he could invigorate these immune cells using the same technique that I just talked about. But he was interested in humans. So he thought that if he could isolate human bone marrow cells where these cells are made, the immune cells are made, inject those into an animal and then re-inject them into the human, he could have some kind of life-prolonging effect. Bizarre thinking, but of course they didn't know very much about immunity back in those days. Where was he to get these human cells? From cadavers. So he had some fresh cadavers, people killed in accidents. He isolated their bone marrow, injected it into a rabbit or a horse, because horse produce a lot of serum, re-injected it back into humans, and he claimed that there was some benefit. He had found what he called reticular anti-serum that was cytotoxic. That's the term that he used. Well, this made it into the medical literature. And in the US, physicians said, we better look at this, even though it came from Russia. And a physician named Stern in California resorted to rabbits. Not a nice story, but he broke the legs of rabbits under anesthesia, injected them with the same serum that Bogomolets had isolated, and found that the leg of the rabbit healed faster. That was pretty interesting. Then he tried it on humans. No, he didn't break their legs on purpose. There were enough human accident victims. He tried it on them, but he claimed that they healed faster. Well, this intrigued many other scientists. And Harry Goldblatt, who actually was a McGill medical graduate, but he was working in the US, he got a grant to study this. And he investigated 3,500 patients who, for various reasons, had been injected with Bogomolets' serum, and he found that it did absolutely nothing. So there was no pulling the rabbit out of the hat. The rabbit stays securely in the hat, and despite what Bogomolets claimed, we are still aging. I would like to think that that's not happening, but thinking it doesn't make it true.